Good morning. Welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome to Open Office Hours. I'm Crystal Hinkle. I'm part of the team here at Syncro, and I will let the rest of the team introduce themselves.
Oh no, I don't think we can hear you, Tatiana.
Couldn't hear you, Tatiana. Mm-mm.
How about now?
Oh, yay!
Woohoo! Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. What a week. What an adventure. Nice to see you guys. I'm Tatiana. Thank you for being here. We're super excited to spend some time together with you guys.
Yes. Hi, everybody. It's Hannah. Nice to see everybody here. And Tatiana, I'm loving that background. That's magical.
Oh, thank you. We are there.
Oh
We are all there. I don't know where it is, but I'm over.
Well, awesome. Yes. Well, once again, welcome to Open Office Hours. For those of you that are joining for the first time, we're so happy to have you. This is really a session where you can ask whatever questions you've had, whether you have never seen Syncro before or you've been a customer of ours for years. All questions are welcome. They can be anything from how-tos to like, what does this button do? We always love that Tatiana likes that question a lot. And I feel like, which is fun. And we like that too. We learn as we go. I think we all learned something totally brand new last week, how to restore a comment section in the tech in your ticket. So we're learning as we go as well. So really all questions are absolutely okay. If we don't know the answer, we'll tell you, or we'll see if we can get technical support to help us on the backside here while we're talking to you all. If you see us glancing around, we do use the Q&A, and most of us have separate screens. So if you see us looking, we're still paying attention, just probably monitoring that Q&A. And so, yes, welcome. Those of you that are joining us again, thanks for continuing to show up. We love these Friday sessions. And, you know, it's always like a race to be the first person to ask a question. But in the meantime, I thought like I might just actually hand it over. Hannah, do you want to go for it? Okay, awesome.
Hey, everybody. And so, yeah, I'll just take some time while there aren't too many questions in the Q&A just to remind everybody about Syncro's referral program. So if you have somebody that you know that you would love to refer to Syncro, once they come on board with Syncro and they're a subscriber for 2 months, you can actually win a $100 gift card of your choosing, which is super awesome. I know I could always use an extra 100. And so I'd love to just share my screen here to show you guys how to get started. Super easy to enroll in the program. You can do it a couple ways. One way is going to be through the App Center. There is going to be a app card that says Refer Syncro. And so if you click into here, really easy to get started for more details here. Another way is through our website. And so here on the Syncro website, if you hit resources and then referral program, this is going to be another way to get started. And so with the referrals and you getting into the system, that then once you are enrolled, and I'll drop this knowledge base in the chat box so everyone can see it, but you actually have an awesome dashboard. And in here is going to be links that then you can go ahead and share with people that you'd like to refer. And so you're able to keep track of your referrals. There's no expiration for your gift card. There's no maximum for how many people you can refer. They do need to be brand new referees, just so you do know, not previous users of Syncro. I'm sure you guys know that. And then from there, that once your referral comes kind of and clicks your link, that then they're going to go ahead and fill out a form. They're going to create an account, and then we're good to go. And then you'll actually get your reward just 2 months after they are a Syncro subscribed member. And so thank you guys so much. Hopefully, if you haven't been able to get onto that referral program, you can now. And the best part is the person that you refer, they also get $100.
Yeah, thanks, Hannah. And I think like I'm fairly certain you said this, but she'll drop the links in the chat too. Like if you want to go ahead and register, that would be awesome. We'd love to see that happen. I'm going to grab this one from Vin. Can we use Connect Booster payment integration? A lot of IT companies use Connect Booster. you're absolutely right. A lot of IT companies do use Connect Booster. My understanding, and I would definitely prove me wrong, speak up. I know that a lot of our competitors use Connect Booster because it's actually a required integration to make sure that the payment processors link with the invoices, whereas our integrations with WorldPay, Stripe, Authorize.net, you don't need Connect Booster. Like it's not necessary. So it's a direct integration. So you can receive payments straight from the portal. You can receive payments like if you had a storefront or anything like that, and you wouldn't need Connect Booster. I also have an understanding that it's quite expensive. I know it does have some benefits. I think sometimes it adds some speed or, something like that with the transactions and funds. But just wanted you to know it is not necessary. And so we do not have an integration with Connect Booster. And I don't foresee us having plans to do that, but hopefully that helps.
It does. Thank you so much, Crystal. I have a question here for Mark. He says, hi there, was wondering about the password vault. Does it only associate one password at a time to a single ticket? Was hoping to set a variety of customer passwords linked to their customer account. So this is a really great question. Again, it looks like we only have one other question in the Q&A. So I'm going to take a couple minutes and really dive into all of the options that are available regarding the password vault, as well as the credentials through Syncro. So hopefully that's okay. Again, if you have follow-up questions to what I'm talking about, or just any other general questions, pop them into the Q&A, and I'll speed it up and wrap it up faster than usual. So like I said, just want to make sure we're providing the best value to you guys. So let's start with password vault, since that was what your question was about. For those that don't know, this is in the App Center. If you scroll down towards the bottom, it is going to be right here. It's called Password Vault. It does not cost you anything extra. Make sure that you print your security codes here. We do not store any of these details. It literally is only available to you. If you forget your Password Vault password, we have no way to recover it. So the reason you would use Password Vault is to actually encrypt custom fields through Syncro. So I'll show you an example of that. Is if we go to a customer's profile, you'll see that we have listed custom fields here, and these with the little lock boxes on them are the ones that have been encrypted by Password Vault. So you get one Password Vault password, which then will allow you to decrypt any of these specific fields right here. So you would enter whatever your Password Vault is in order to basically reveal whatever information is stored beneath that. So the way that you set it up is if you go to edit the custom fields on the customer level, and then you say manage custom fields, this is going to be where you can create any custom field that you want. Looks like we've been doing quite a bit of testing, but I'll show you. You'd create new fields. You can say password vault test, and then you can, the key here is to make sure that you select secret or encrypted, create customer custom field. And then if we go to that password vault test, now we're going to edit it. And then basically it would now appear here on the customer information section. So let me go back to Larry's business real quick. And that's where you would be able to fill in what that information is in order to basically uncover what is underneath there. So that is what the Password Vault integration is used for. So here's that Password Vault test. Again, when you edit this for this customer, you would fill in what you need underneath there and then use the Password Vault to kind of reveal what's underneath. So hopefully that makes sense. That is really the only use case for Password Vault, is you get one Password Vault password to unencrypt all of the rest of these fields. I think what you're more looking along the lines to do is to store customer passwords, which is actually going to be through credentials through Syncro. Also doesn't cost anything extra, it's just a built-in feature here. Credentials are available here on the customer profile, on the contact level, all the way down at the bottom, as well as you can store credentials in the documentation through Syncro. So I am keeping an eye on the Q&A. Looks like we have 3 questions. So I'll try to keep this a little bit shorter, but yes, you can create credentials, and they on the actual documentation page which would be listed here. And the biggest thing about credentials is not only do they obviously store the passwords, they are encrypted, they're salted per row, and you can pass the credentials to the customer portal. So you can either create them to be private, meaning just for you and your team, or you can make it public via the customer portal. So I'll show you what it'll look like from your customer's perspective. Is like this. You'll just scroll down to the credentials section like this. Here's theirs, again, also encrypted, listed here. They have a little quick copy paste functionality there. And so it just makes it as easy as possible. Or if you're using it through the documentation, it would be listed here. Mine is, since I'm impersonating, mine isn't going to show, but that is the difference between Password Vault as well as credentials. So please let me know. Let me scan the Q&A real quick. Oh, good question from Larry. He says, so you reveal that password to all employees. It's up to you. If you, the fact of the matter is that this Password Vault password, there's only one of them to decrypt all of these fields. So yes, if this is something that you only as the MSP, the business owner, wants to know and have access to, don't tell anybody the password, because any one of your team who has this password will have access to basically reveal anything that's underneath there. So I think that's it. Hopefully that's helpful to you guys. I don't see any additional questions, so I will let the ladies take over.
Thank you so much, Tatiana. That was amazing and amazingly in depth, which is fantastic. That's why we're here. Cool. Evan has a question. I just realized that Bitdefender won't actually use the assigned policy features unless the modules and questions have also been installed. Is there a way to configure the default package that gets installed by Syncro so we can ensure the customers get all of the packages they need for a given policy? Evan, that's a great question. I think a lot of that customization is done in Gravity Zone. You can write into technical support and they can assist you with this. I also actually dropped a video about installation and management with Bitdefender in the chat box. If you want to grab that, I think that might be helpful as well. And so hopefully that helps, but definitely write into the support team. They can help you there. And then Jorge has a question. Is there a way to assign 2 nodes or assets to one contact and that I look like a clone of Pocahontas? Yes, Jorge, thank you. I am here for that. I take that as a compliment. Also that I might be a Disney princess. Cool, loving that. And then let me go ahead and share my screen there. And so when you are assigning contacts, that they do need to be in the customer section. And then here in the assets in RMM, you can assign multiple contacts. Here we have Crystal, so that same contact to multiple devices. Just keep in mind if you have them opening a ticket from the agent contact form, that when they do get assigned to the device, it does pre-fill their information. And so I'll just kind of show you guys right here. So if we open up that support request, it is going to assign and pre-fill their information there. So just keep a note of that, but you can assign the same contact to multiple devices.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. I was going to grab, so there's one from Vin, anywhere in the roadmap to have IP restrictions for Syncro admin login. I believe we're working on that. That's something I don't know if Vin, it makes sense because I know Hannah is the one that's been definitely raising that. So we are actively working on that. Yes. The other one that I just grabbed, another one, Vin, can you assign customers to techs? Currently techs have access to all customers. So right now, if you have a Syncro login, you will have access to all customers unless you have the single customer permission license. So that's usually in general terms, we built that single customer permissions. Like if you have a customer that has maybe someone that's internal IT that need access to just their environment, we do have single customer permissions. We are working on continuing to and add more granularity to technician security. So we are working on that, but not currently. You cannot do that.
I had a follow-up question from Craig. He says, can you change the master password at any time? Yes. It used to be a feature that was not available, but I think they updated this like 6 months ago that yes, you can change that password vault master password over in the app card.
Okay. Let's see here. I was just going to read this one out loud. We good to go? I'm just going to read it out loud from Larry. We are going live with Syncro on Monday. Yay! Congratulations. Happy to have you. Welcome to the fam. Still have a lot of things to configure, but we are going to start ingesting tickets. Then I want to bill on the first. Is it possible to assign multiple devices to one location in mass, or does it have to be done one device at a time? It has to be done one device at a time. That screen that Hannah, I don't want to scare my screen because I'm worried that my internet will go weird, but the screen that Hannah was just on where you can assign contacts, you can filter like going to like a specific customer and then like quickly go through that, but not en masse at this time, Larry. All right. Tatiana, are you up?
Yep, I have a question here from Craig. It says, how do we handle one customer with multiple locations that may not have employees at these locations, but I will create for these locations and bill the primary customer? So I'm going to share my screen. This is another one I'm going to kind of take a minute to really dive into because the difference is pretty huge in deciding how you want to set this up, and there's multiple ways to do it. So if you have a primary customer that you are sending an invoice to for, let's say it's a chain restaurant and they have 3 locations, you are providing support for all 3 locations, and you are billing the main corporate office for all of the technical support per hour or whatever billing model you have set up for them. If that is the case, how I would set this up is under one customer profile, because this can be like corporate, and then you can go ahead and edit this, and you can build out additional sites and addresses here. So address 1, new address and site, testing 1, 2, 3, the second location. And you can also make sure that all contacts, no matter which location, who work for this corporate office are listed here as contacts. The reason this is important is you can assign them to which actual address or location they are here. And you also have the ability, once you build out the additional sites and addresses, if you go over to the assets and RMM section, you have the capability in here to assign that site and address, or the assets you can assign to that corporate customer, as well as which actual physical location they are at. So that would be the way to organize it. And again, the reason for doing this is because if you're billing this main corporate office, at that point, you only need to create one recurring invoice for that main corporate office, since all the bills are going to go to there. All of the tickets are going to be funneled to that one customer, no matter which location, but your assets can still be organized on a per site basis, so that if your tech needs to go on location, they know where they're going. So if all the bills are going to one corporate office, put them all under one customer. If instead you had, let's say a different use case scenario, you had a different restaurant chain, but each company, each location was being billed individually, I would then break that out, each location as its own customer, because then all the contacts would only be for location A, location B, and location C separately. All the tickets and time tracked is going to be for each location separately. You would have 3 separate invoices going out. So hopefully that's helpful to you, Craig. Please let me know if you have any follow-up questions, and I will be happy to help. That's it for me. We should be like over and out.
Yeah. Over and out. Love that. Gary has a question. Is there a way to pull Bitlocker Key from a device and store it in a custom field under the asset? Yes, there is actually a helpful community script to do that, and I will share that with you. Ben also just has a comment on that. Gary, if you are using Microsoft 365, Bitlocker Keys are stored there. Also, if Bitlocker Keys are set on rotation, then keeping them outside of Microsoft is not very reliable. Thank you, Ben, for that. And then for Gary, I'll go ahead and share my screen here. So in the scripts tab under the community library, there's actually a Get Bitlocker Keys script, and you can actually set this up in your policy under Setup Scripts. You will need to have created your custom field for the Bitlocker keys, but this script can go ahead and help you go ahead and pull that key and drop it into that field for you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah. I have a question here from Sean. He says, is there a way to send automatic ticket replies when a new ticket is opened? I have ticket automation set up that can manually trigger. However, I would like the system to send out a ticket to acknowledge it, that it has hit the system, ticket has opened, etc. immediately, similar to how resolved ticket status sends it immediately to contact. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm curious how you have this set up, because from what I understood, it should be pretty immediate. If you go over to your admin section, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't tested this in a really long time and I don't have a way to test it live right now. But from what I understood is in the mailboxes section, when you set up your inbound email address, like a help@yourcompany.com, when you tell it to create a ticket, you can say only for existing customers or always, and you have this checkbox selected, send lead or ticket autoresponder. This should be sending that to them right away. And in the PDFs are going to be linked here, the examples here, I'll open one. That's what it's going to say. Yours can look different. If you're looking to edit that piece specifically, go back to the admin section and under PDF and email templates, go into your email templates, and this is where that lead autoresponder, like if you wanted to edit what this looked like, this is where you change that, or the ticket autoresponder. But from what I understood, it should, yeah, this note will be sent to customers automatically when they email in, and it creates a ticket. So if you already have that set up and for some reason you want to send them a second email saying something like, just confirming once again that the ticket has been created, the only other option regarding that would be a ticket automation, but this only runs once an hour and not on the hour. So if you're looking for an immediate response, this would be your go-to. But if not, if you wanted like a second confirmation or something like that, you could say new ticket if the ticket status is new. Ticket status is new. Then I want to send them a email and say, hey, just confirming that we did receive it. Once again, thank you for your patience, something like that. So let me know if that helps. That's it for me.
Over now. Okay, I'm going to have a follow-up question from Gary. Is it possible to create a custom field on the dashboard under the asset that will show the Bitlocker key? So Gary, a place that you can add those custom fields onto your view is going to be in the assets in RMM screen. And so it won't be in the kind of top dashboard, and I have to move my Zoom people. That's right here, but it can be one of the columns for you. So here under Customize, you'll be able to add in the columns that you'd prefer to see. And some of those options are going to be the custom fields that you've created. And so here on my asset overview, if I take a look at all my custom fields, these are all going to be available within that customized list. So I can add the columns that is going to be best for me to see.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Hannah. Larry says, why are the PDF previews so small? Is there a way to make them larger? Yes, let's test this really quick. Are you saying this one specifically? I mean, you could, like I'm clicking control on my keyboard. I'm sure you knew this, but I'm just saying it just in case, I don't know. I never knew this, but I'm clicking control and I zoom in and out using my little mouse scrolly thing. Or you could also, whoops, now it's like, hello, way too zoomed in. Or if you click edit here, when you're actually editing that ticket auto response, you could either click preview. I think it's going to be the same exact one. Yeah, this is the ticket one. This one is the lead one. Or if you're editing it completely, yeah, that's kind of, I think it's only just the page zoom.
Yeah, Tatiana, go to like look at like a one-off invoice, and when you're in that invoice, Larry's, I think what he's referring to, like if you just go into an invoice, yeah, and you look at it, there's no way to,
Oh, this box.
yeah, it is kind of small. I think that's what you meant, Larry?
Yeah. That might be it. Yeah, because even if you're, well, I mean, you could zoom using the little thing, but yeah, it's not the same.
Yep.
Yeah, good call. I'm sorry, I don't know of a better way to do that, other than the mouse scrolly. If somebody knows the official word for that, please tell me.
Wait, what is that part of the mouse called?
This is called mouse scrolly, apparently.
I feel like that is the technical term for it.
Absolutely.
I was like, there's a movie that calls, like if something's loading and there's like a little, how,
Like a wheel.
like on Amazon Prime, there's like a little wheel that like while you're waiting for something to load, and like there's a movie that calls it like the spinning wheel of death. I'm still like, no, not the spinning wheel of death. We're so technical here.
Do you see these? Do you see these suggestions?
Vin, what is that? That's not real.
My favorite word is the dipsy do on the doodah day. Like that's what it is. Dipsy do.
Love it.
I love that. Craig is just triple checking that. Will the Bitlocker key script automatically put the key into the custom field you set up? That yes, it should absolutely do that. And so here in the script, when you take a look at it, that it will go ahead and add the keys to Syncro. And so it uses the verbiage to set the asset field and go ahead and write the key into that field.
Awesome. I was just going to grab this one. Our nested policy is still coming. I remember hearing about it a while back. They are. I actually got a really cool preview of these nested policies, and it's incredible. Like they are incredible. It is a huge build. It's like it's gonna like completely change the way that policies work, look, feel. So we are doing our due diligence and putting it through a ton of QA, getting feedback, going back. So yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for posting that, Hannah. Because yeah, you can see what we're working with. We're just in the final stages of just making sure that we release a full, complete, and healthy feature. Awesome. Nothing's in the Q&A, so it's time for Crystal to launch that poll. Start. Yes, recapping what I'm doing. Oh, funny. Yes, the spinning beach ball of death. Epic rap battles of history. Appleverse. Microsoft. Yes, exactly, Randy. Exactly. Okay. Who's got some fun facts or topics or questions? We're here for another 30 minutes. Happy to help. Anybody learn anything new this week?
Probably, just can't think of it right now.
Oh,
I feel like we should have some backup like cool things to show off. So I'll keep thinking about it. Scrolling, new word. Yeah, there we go. That's something we learned new this week.
There we go. I love that. Randy actually has a good question. Can you show how to do SNMP? I can definitely show you that, Randy. And so let me go ahead and share my screen here. So for SNMP inside of Syncro, you will need to create a different asset than is a Syncro device. So if I went ahead and hit new asset, that it's going to be a manual asset type. And so here I already have some that are set up: SNMP firewall, NAS, router, switch. Let's go ahead and choose one. you will need to associate who's got that device. So let's go ahead and pick our customer. You can fill in the asset name and the serial number, but we're going to go ahead and hit create new asset. So now the asset is created and we can see the details here. It's the asset type SNMP router. I'm going to go ahead and hit edit. And here under edit, you'll want to hit this tab SNMP details. Here, you'll have the option to select SNMP enabled. This is where now I can enter this device's IP address. You can select a monitoring agent on that network. That's how then the SNMP device is going to, like, you'll be able to surface alerts and whatnot. So we need to pick something on that network, whether it's a workstation or server that has the Syncro agent, to then pull for that IP address. And then you'll be able to get online, offline alerts and set up OID recipes. We do have an SNMP walk script in the community library if it's helpful to have those OIDs exported via CSV for you, but then you can go ahead and enter them in and then set up that SNMP device for that monitoring. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any other questions.
That was awesome. I think I'm next. Question says, or this, I'll grab this one from Craig that is a follow-up question. He said, from what was said earlier, creating an additional company will be the best option, but it needs a contact. I need to set up without a contact since it will be the same as the primary company. It will not allow this. What other options do I have? This is a super good question. So what I would actually recommend is if you go to the customer profile for Larry's business, let me pull that up here real quick. Like this. You can, you're right, you can't duplicate this main email address because this is used as a unique identifier in Syncro. So if you have 3 locations that you're billing separately, but they all have the same main billing person that you need to send an invoice to for some reason, you can leave this email address either blank or add it to a different one, but then make sure you set them up as a contact. Most importantly, the button I want to show you is these 3 buttons right here. Receive billing emails, receive marketing emails, receive report emails. So they will be able to see you know, if they're doing the invoicing, just make sure you have that checkbox selected. Another one to point out here too is if you select a direct report. So like, let's say Larry Legend is reporting to Crystal Henkel, then Crystal is going to be CC'd on any communication that Larry sends on any ticket or anything like that that's flowing into Syncro. She will get copies of that. So hopefully that's helpful as a workaround in making sure that whoever needs to be, you know, on top of all communication, bills, marketing and reports, as well as tickets, set them up as a contact and then set them up as their direct report so that they're included on all communication. So hopefully that is helpful. Please let me know if you have any additional questions regarding that. I wanted to grab another one here too. Can you show me how to set up a customer for block hours? I usually don't do contracts with block hours, but did my first one the other day and need to get it set up with Syncro. So yes, I'm going to share my screen. I'll show you how to set this up. So first things first is you need to make sure that you enable the block hours functionality. So we're going to head over to the admin section. And I believe it's either in invoice preferences or ticket preferences or inventory preferences. Sorry, I don't set this up on a daily basis, so we're gonna find it together. Whoops. Okay, we're gonna go to the KB. I don't remember where to find that setting, but it is super important. Otherwise, it's literally not gonna work for you. So we're gonna go to the KB, prepaid hours, block hours, and it's gonna tell me which one. Admin customer preferences. So the only one that I didn't open, of course. So here in the customer preferences, go ahead and click additional settings and make sure you select this button right here, prepaid hours tracking feature. What this will enable you to do now, and let me clean up my tabs, is now when you go to your products and services section, you are now going to be able to create a brand new product with the category of prepaid hours. And this is the most important piece to set up because when you sell your customers prepaid hours, let's say you sell them 20 per month basically 5 per week. When you are tracking time on a ticket using regular labor, that is going to counterbalance against the balance of prepaid hours that you already sold them at the beginning of the month, if that makes sense. So make sure you're using prepaid hours right here. So beyond that, that's basically it. Set up your product as block hour, or you can name it whatever you want, put in your price, set the category to prepaid hours, sell it to your customer. So go ahead and create a brand new invoice. And I'll show you what this looks like. We'll go to Larry's business, create invoice. Before I do this, I want to show you that if you go to the customer's profile, you have prepaid hour balance. I have 8.5 for him right now. Let's say it's the beginning of the month. We need to sell him 20 more. I'll show you the manual way to do it, and there's a way to automate it as well. But on the invoice, you can scroll down a little bit, say block hours, because that's what we're selling. And we're going to sell him 20. Create line item. As soon as you add it to an invoice, if we go and refresh this customer's profile here now, you'll see that it now populates to 28. And that's basically it. Your techs don't need to think, they don't need regarding like, am I billing for block hours? Am I billing for regular time? All time will be counterbalanced against that block hours unless you set an exception. So if I'm tracking time on a ticket using regular labor, it's just going to kind of counterbalance against that. So I'm going to kind of speed up a little bit. I see the Q&A filling up with 9 questions. So the last piece is I'll show you how to automate all of that is to set up a recurring invoice. So you would open up a recurring invoice for this brand new customer that you just onboarded, and you would say, per this recurring invoice template for my brand new customer, Larry, I told him that we would offer 20 hours per month. So template, Larry's business, we're billing him once a month on this date of the month. Scroll down, add a standard line item, put in your block hours in here. It will bill him at that block hours rate and constantly add to that this prepaid hours balance right here for you. You can choose if you want them to roll over month to month or not, clear or reset them. And again, any time that's tracked on a ticket will reduce the prepaid hour balance. So I'm going to leave it there. I want to make sure that we have room for additional questions or follow-up questions. I'm also going to drop into the chat box. I did a very in-depth deep dive on block hours that you can take a look, or obviously you can watch this recording once it's uploaded to YouTube.
Awesome. Thank you, Tatiana. I'm just going to give an update to Rob is asking for an update on the Mac agent. So yes, I have an update. The version 2 beta that we released is we're getting really good feedback in regards to the stability, alerting, and everything like that. So we're feeling really good about that part of it. I'm assuming you're maybe referencing remote control via the Mac agent with Splashtop, and that is in line for next month. So things are looking really, really good with that as well. We will continue to add additional triggers and things like that after that. So things feel really good on that side. So hopefully that helps. That's the update that I have. No clear like specific dates, but that's kind of the overall process there. And then Larry wants to know, is there a way to make the agent check in more often? For example, when we install software or uninstall it, we don't get the email for sometimes hours later. Yes. So like there are different check-ins with the agent. So like obviously alerts are happening in real time and that kind of thing. But when it's actually checking softwares, it's not like an instant real time. So you can like click in, I mean, like you could technically click into a policy and like resave a policy, and that will force the agent to check in. Not necessarily like the ideal workflow, but it will work if you do that. Over and out to you, Hannah.
Loving that. You definitely need to do that every time. Okay, I have a couple that I am going to knock out here. We're going to start with Michael. Michael is asking, is there support for an email to be sent to the customer when their ticket is resolved with a simple survey link, like how was your experience, thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm going to show you a couple things, Michael, here in the system. So one thing you can set up are ticket resolved emails. And so when a ticket is marked resolved, it can send out the client an email. How you would enable those is in tickets and ticket preferences. And so that's going to be enable ticket resolved emails. Where you edit that email is going to be in the PDF and email templates. So here in email templates, that then we're going to have a ticket resolved email. Now there's not going to be like a setup that's automated to where it's going to immediately have like a survey within it, but you can take an outside source and put like a survey link in there, whether it's like SurveyMonkey or something like that. Now, if you'd like to use an integration, we actually have an integration with an application called Simple Stat. It's here in the App Center, and this is actually going to leverage the mailer to be able to give you and your clients get their feedback. And so basically it's like happy face, sad face, hopefully more happy faces than sad ones, but you would be able to leverage that. You just need to grab a license from them. This is actually leveraging the mailer itself. So inside of the mailer, there is also a drip campaign that you can set up. So the same way where you would kind of need to get an outside source for a survey, but you can set up an automatically triggered mailing. So an email to go out maybe like 2 days since a ticket gets closed, and then be able to customize the feedback that then you'd like to get back from your client. So hopefully that helps. Randy has a follow-up question. Can you expand on SNMP setup, like monitoring temp or CPU on a device and having a generated or a script run based on that alert or info? So yes, let's go ahead and expand a little bit on that. I'm just going to close up some tabs here. So in my asset, so where we were before, where we were setting up the SNMP device, you would enroll in the OID recipes to be able to then set up specific alerts. So I don't have specific ones here on this one for like monitoring temp or CPU, but there are available OIDs for those devices for that. And so in here, that then you would be able to set your thresholds. And so once the threshold gets breached, that then you can go ahead and create a alert body text for a specific alert. And then from when you create these, you can actually pull them into your automated remediations. So in the alerts tab, of course, they are going to show up here, but then you can also create automated remediations based off of those alerts. So if I go to create an automated remediation, that now one of my available triggers is going to be SNMP. And so here from what I've created on my SNMP threshold, so I would go ahead and do SNMP threshold breached. And then of course you would want to add in your specifics there. So with the alert body text to be something that then if that goes off or fires, we want Syncro to go ahead and run a script based on that alert. And so hopefully that helps. Let me know if there are any follow-up questions there. And then Rob has a question, can executive reports be generated on a monthly basis and sent to our customers? Yes. So in the reports section here, you are going to have this executive summary report builder. And this is where you can create your own template to be able to send out to your customers on a monthly basis. So just because we have a little bit of time in here to dive in, I'm going to go ahead and get this loading. And hopefully my internet is nice today. Come on. Here's the wheel of death. No, just kidding. There it is. Haha. And so now we're able to create our own templates. This is an example of one. Alerts that were detected and resolved, antivirus coverage, threats that were detected, and these date ranges are customizable. So you'll have like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, remote access occurrences, tickets by type, Windows updates coverages, and you'll also be able, so those are text blocks. You'll also have visual blocks available to you. So you actually customize this report for the modules you want to display to your client, and then these can be scheduled. So if we go ahead and hit schedule, that now this particular template can go out on a monthly basis, and then you decide when to run it next and what type of email you want to go out to the client, and it does get attached via PDF. And then that way you can select the client that it goes to. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if there's any follow-up there. And then 2 more here. Larry was mentioning that he doesn't have any of those tabs that Tatiana was looking at earlier. And so in the products and services section, if you don't have any of these tabs, you'll need to turn them on in the admin section. So in admin, under product inventory, and then inventory preferences, that those are going to be under additional settings. and then you'll just show top level categories as tabs. And then David, this is my last question, guys. I'm sure you guys are like, oh my God, she's talking a lot. But
this is awesome. Thank you.
In here, David is asking, is there a way to upload an attachment to a payment? If I pay a single invoice, I upload a copy of the check to the invoice. But when paying for multiple invoices, I would like to add a check to the payment instead of adding the check to one of the invoices from the bulk invoices paid. And then he says, I hope you understand the question. Yes, David, no problem. You were super clear there. So unfortunately, I was checking some stuff out. It doesn't look like you can add any attachments to payments. At this point, you would have to stick to what you're doing with attaching those attachments to the invoices. That's the only place it is going to be. I went ahead and just looked a little bit deeper into these payments here, but there isn't, unfortunately, a way to add in those attachments there.
Thank you so much, Hannah. That was amazing. We got some feedback. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't mean to be going fast. I know that sometimes we are explaining things because we're in the product 8 hours a day, so like actually more than 8 hours a day on demos and things like that. So it's stuff that we've seen over and over. So sometimes if you guys ask us a question, it's not because we're trying to be difficult. We really do want to help you find the settings that you're looking for. But with regards to us having a full hour together, we also have to balance that with like other questions that are being asked. So definitely appreciate the feedback, Larry. I will try to slow down next time. And again, keep in mind, these are all recorded. So if you need to go back and watch it later, usually it only takes our marketing team like a couple days to post them. So I just try to make sure to keep it concise, straight to the point, show what needs to be done. And sometimes I don't realize how fast I'm going, so sorry about that. There was another question in here. It looks like credentials aren't enabled in my tenant. Is there a KB that walks through turning that on? So this is actually interesting. You're good, thank you. This is interesting. There's I did drop the KB into the chat box, but I also wanted to mention there isn't really a setting that you need to like flip the switch to make credentials work through Syncro. From what I read in the KB, it should be literally just available as a tab here. Something to consider though is maybe there's something in the security permissions that you are assigned to that is blocking you from being able to see credentials. So sometimes people do this for MSPs will do this for new technicians that they just brought aboard. They don't want to hand over the keys to the kingdom right away. So they'll build out like a new technician onboarding security group to kind of lock down things that they don't want them to have access to right away. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Maybe that's something that's affecting that you can take a closer look in the security groups of why you wouldn't be able to see credentials. Because as far as I know, there isn't a button you need to click in order to enable them to be visible other than in the security groups there.
Awesome. Okay, couple things. I was just going to say, I might need more clarity then, unless someone else knows exactly what you mean by run QBR reports with custom date range. I might need more information. And then let's see. The other one that I have in here from Rob, a customer pays a bunch of invoices with the single check. How can we easily print these paid invoices? The system works great for a single invoice. Yeah, so I'm getting clarity. I don't know if there's like a super easy way to bulk print. I mean, we do have like, we switched over to like auto printer. And so I don't know if there's an easier way. I'm not as familiar with that. So I'm trying to get a little bit of clarity. Just want to let you know that I see it in here. I just don't have the answer quite yet. All right, go ahead, Hannah. Over and out.
Awesome. Sean is asking, can you edit subject line on email template? Great question. In the pre-built templates that are automated to go out, you cannot edit the subject line. So, but I will show you a few places where you can. So in the admin section, with these email templates that go out, the subject lines are not able to be edited, I don't believe. Ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. There are a couple places you can edit subject lines though. One is going to be, I believe, in the autoresponders from your mailboxes. So in here, if you create custom autoresponders, that then you can edit subject lines over here. And then the other place you can edit subject lines will be in automations with automated remediations and with ticket automations. So very similar to where when you're setting up your automated remediation, now if you're going to send more customized emails, so in here, and again, you can do this in ticket automations as well, but be able to go ahead and either email a team member or email a client, that then you can edit the subject line in here. So hopefully that helps. And then Larry is asking, would love to see an all-you-can-eat contract and invoice setup. Sure, we can absolutely take some time to do that with you today, Larry. So when I'm setting up a client that I'm bringing on board for an all-you-can-eat type plan, prior to kind of regardless of what kind of client that is coming on board with me, I would have all of my labor rates set up here in the product section. This is going to be every type of labor that I offer, anything that could be added onto a ticket. Once I have these labor rates set up, these are going to be what's available on tickets and available for me to include in my all-you-can-eat contract. And so with these labor rates that are set up, I can go ahead and create a new contract for a customer. And so we'll go into this one for coffee beans. So now, if this is an all-you-can-eat type plan or contract that the client is on with me, what I would want to do is go ahead and put in a pricing override for my labor rates. So then that way, if I'm logging time for one of their tickets, it's actually going to be just noted as included and not something that I need to charge them. So I would come through here and go ahead and add in all my labor rates and zero them out. That way, when I'm on a ticket for this client, that then as I'm logging my time, it is going to be included. So that's really going to be your setup for the all-you-can-eat type plan. That way you are communicating to your client that time is being logged, work is being completed, but it's included in their monthly rate. Now, how are we going to actually collect their monthly rate from them? It's actually not from the contract setup. It's going to be through a recurring invoice. So in the invoices module, you'll want to create them a recurring invoice to then have them pay you on that recurring basis for that contract. So you'll set the frequency that you're billing them, decide when you want to run it next, whether you're billing in arrears or in advance, and then be able to add the recurring type for how they pay you. And Syncro has a lot of really cool ways to dynamically bill your clients, whether it's just a standard support item that they're billing, that you're charging them, or it's per device or per user, that then you can create them their recurring bill this way. Hopefully that helps.
It was really, really helpful. Oh, does someone want to tackle these? A couple questions from Randy. Can you go over ticket templates and auto responses? Chat. Is there a way to get it auto respond or interact more with a client when a tech is unavailable? Lastly, how is the chat logged against a ticket? Can we get a create ticket button on the chat window?
Yep, I can grab this one. So I'm going to share my screen. We'll start at the top of the list here. So ticket templates and auto responses. So in regards to ticket templates, well, all of these are going to be here in the admin section. So I'm going to open a couple different tabs. The first one is the PDF or email templates. In regards to the ticket template that's going to be listed here, this is going to be if you just want to preview what the ticket is going to look like from the customer's perspective, whether you are emailing that to them for some reason, or also if you are making it available via the customer portal. So if we go over to Larry's business, I'll show you what this looks like from their perspective, because not only do they have the ability to message you back from the customer portal, they can also preview that ticket template. So if we click into the open ticket, it'll have some details here. They can respond right here, and the PDF is going to be this button right here. Kind of shows that same template layout. like this to them from their perspective. So that is the ticket templates. Auto responses are going to be also here in the admin section under PDF and email templates. Just going through and actually clicking into the email templates will show which ones are sent automatically. Like when you create an appointment, this email gets sent. This gets sent when a customer contacts. Oh, sorry, what was that? So this is going to be where you can also say like, hey, we're resetting a password or whatever it might be. So those are going to be those auto responses, or you could also set up ticket automations, same type of a setup. We already showed this one previously earlier today, but again, if you're like, if the customer has an SLA and it's a 24-hour SLA and they haven't responded to you in the last 2 hours, then I need to automatically send them an email and say, hey, we haven't heard from you. We understand this is super important. Please give us a call, something like that. So next question here is from Randy. He says, chat, is there a way to get it to auto respond or interact more with a client when a tech is unavailable? So this isn't a good question for those that don't know or don't have chat enabled. You can do this on any policy, scroll all the way down to the bottom. And there is a way for you to obviously enable chat, but there's also this unavailable message. So this is the only one that is going to be automated. I think it's like either 1 or 3 minutes. If they, if you guys don't respond to a chat right away, it'll let them know like, hey, we'll be, we're away from our desk. We will give you a call when we're available, something like that, whatever you want to put into there, and also assign it to a specific tech from this side. But what's interesting about the second half of your question is how is the chat logged against a ticket, or can we create a ticket button from the chat window? This is actually one of my favorite things to show on demos, because I think it kind of just shows from a bunch of different perspectives. Like if the customer reaches out to you via chat, and I know we only have 4 minutes, I'm going to go kind of fast. Remote desktop, the customer reaches out to you via chat here. So they click live chat, they're messaging back and forth, having that conversation of like whatever they need help with. That chat is going to pop up from the Syncro perspective. And if the issue cannot be resolved with the back and forth conversation with the end user, you actually can wrap this entire conversation and turn it into a ticket with the click of a button right there. So if you click create ticket, obviously fill in some details, but the asset will be attached to the ticket. And then on that ticket, you'll have a link back to the chat. So it's going to be all interrelated. So I think that covered all of those for you, Randy.
Awesome. And Vin, thank you for clarifying. I definitely know what you mean now when you're setting up different modules in the executive summary reports. It gives you like last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. So that would be a feature request to have like a specific date range, as far as I know at this point. But we actually just had a really cool team day yesterday where we were talking about these reports. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that in our request, because yeah, we want these reports to be awesome and exactly what you need. And then Rob, I'm going to email you when I get the answer to your printing question, because I don't have it yet. And I don't want you to think this wasn't super valuable. So I wrote down your question. I've got your name. And so I'll get you an email once I get the answer. Ooh, that hour went really, really fast. Awesome. Okay. Well, I just want to say happy Friday to everyone. I hope you have a wonderful, happy, healthy, safe weekend, and we hope to see you all next week. And over and out. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.